Hello, boys and girls. Today I'm so excited for the story we're going to be reading. We're going to read Abuela by Arthur Dorros. Now, today's story, some of it's going to be in Spanish. So we're going to be needing to remember what we've learned with Mrs. Alman in the past, okay? And I'm going to do my best to say the words correctly, but I may have to look at the glossary on the back to make sure I'm doing it, okay? So let's get started. This story is called Abuela. Does anyone remember what Abuela means? That's right, it means grandma, right? So while we're reading, I want you to listen to for the two main characters, and then I want you to think about the setting, so where the story mainly takes place. And then you can also listen for some of the Spanish words, and you can practice some of your Spanish words while we read, okay? Let's get started. Abuela takes me to the bus. We go all around the city. Abuela is my grandma. She is my mother's mother. Abuela means grandma in Spanish. Abuela speaks mostly Spanish because that's what people spoke where she grew up before she came to this country. Abuela and I are always going places. Today we're going to the park. El parque es lindo, says Abuela. I know what she means. I think the park is beautiful too. Tantos pajaros, Abuela says, as a flock of birds surround us. So many birds, they're picking up the bread we brought. Let's go this way. What if they picked me up and carried me high above the park? What if I could fly? Abuela would wonder where I was, swooping like a bird. I'd call to her. Then she'd see me flying. Where's Abuela? The bird. Where's Abuela? El perro, she'd say. Pajero, she'd say. Ven, Abuela. Come, Abuela. I'd say, "Sí, quiero volar," Abuela would reply as she leaped into the sky with her skirt flapping in the wind. We would fly all over the city. Mira, Abuela would say, pointing. And I'd look as we soared over parks and streets, dogs and people. We'd wave to people waiting for the bus. Buenos dias, we'd say. Buenos dias, good morning, they'd call up to us. We'd fly over factories and trains. And glide close to the sea. Secret del mar, we'd say. We'd almost touch the tops of waves. Abuela's skirt would be a sail. She could race with the sailboats. I'll bet she'd win. We'd fly to where the ships were docked and watch people unload fruits from the land where Abuela grew up. Mangoes, bananas, papayas, those are all Spanish words. So are rodeo, patio, and burro. Maybe we'd see a cousin of Abuela's hooking boxes of fruit to a crane. We saw her cousin Daniel once unloading and loading the ships. Out past the boats in the harbor, we'd see the Statue of Liberty. Me gusta, Abuela would say. Abuela really likes her. I do too. We would circle around the Liberty's head and wave to the people visiting her. That would remind Abuela of when she first came to this country. Vamos, Aeropuerto, she'd say. She'd take me to the airport where the plane that first brought her landed. Cuidado, Abuela would tell me. We'd have to be careful as we went for a short ride. Then we could fly to Tio Pablo's and Tia Lisa's store. Pablo is my uncle, mi tío, and Elisa is my aunt, mi tía. They'd be surprised when we flew in, but they'd offer us a cool limonado. Flying is hot work. Pero quiero volar más, Abuela would say. She wants to fly more. I want to fly more too. We could fly to los nubes, the clouds. One looks like a cat, un gato. One looks like a bear, un oso. One looks like a chair, una silla. Descansemos un momento, Abuela would say. She wants to rest a moment. We would rest in our chair, and Abuela would hold me in her arms with the whole sky or house, nuestra casa. We'd be as high as airplanes, balloons, and birds, and higher than the tall buildings downtown. But we'd fly there, too, to look around. We could find the building where my father works. Hola, Papa, I'd say as I waved, and Abuela would do a flip for fun as we passed by the windows. Mira, I hear Abuela say. Look, she's telling me. I do look, and we are going back to the park. We are walking by the lake. Abuela probably wants to go for a boat ride. Vamos a otro adventura, she says. She wants us to go for another adventure. That's just one of the things I love about Abuela. She likes adventures. Abuela takes my hand. Vamos, she says. Let's go. Okay, so who were the two characters in this story? That's right, Abuela and the little girl. Her name was Rosabella. And then where did the story take place? What was the setting? Most of it was the park. And then let's think about some of the other things they did to decide if the story is real or make-believe. So if it's real, that means it could really happen, right? If it's make-believe, then it's something silly that probably can't happen. So in the story, they fly up in the air, right? In the sky. Part of the story takes place in the sky. Can we really do that in real life? No, we can't fly like birds like this. If we went in an airplane, we could do that. That part was real, right? Okay, well, I hope you guys loved this story as much as I did. You can practice some of your Spanish words this week and keep working so hard. Bye, guys.